Guys, in this video, I wanted to take a few minutes to talk about building reports within Metasys MUI. What we've got in front of us is a list of equipment, and we are basically going to build a report that is going to take some of this data into account. And what these are basically are hourly meters. These are basically just showing the usage for these various buildings each hour. And it's very easy to set up a report, and then you can do a lot with it. And this is just going to be an example, guys. This come about from a conversation recently with someone that was asking questions, so I thought that I'd just go ahead and make a video where we talk about it. Inside an equipment summary, you're going to have a lot of flexibility for being able to pull certain types of information. Right here, this little box, this is where you're wanting to click in this. And when I click that, it is going to bring up a menu here to where either I could select trends or I could select advanced search and reporting. You can do this from the skinny snowman that's in the upper right corner, but this is an easier way depending on the data type, and it again is why it's critical for you to set your system up, building the equipment definitions, the equipment summaries, and so on the way that you should, because it makes it much easier when you go to pull that data from the system. So I'm going to select advanced search and reporting. It's going to pull me into this window here, and I'm going to have a list of all of those various points. And what I can do here, I can go through individually and check them. I can even go right here and select this box here, and it will select all of them for me. But I don't really want to do that because it's going to be a lot of data, and just for an example, we're not going to do that. So I'm just going to grab a couple of them here. Just as an example, once I click these, there's a little bit of a delay, but I'm just going to grab a few of them here, and then I'm going to go up here to actions. And this is where I can make things happen. I'm going to select actions, and I can go to bulk, modify, create report, bulk command. Again, I've got other videos to where I use the bulk command, and so go over and check those out on my channel, because if you've got a lot of stuff that you need to do, if you got to do a big bunch of overrides on something for whatever reason, if you need to change a bunch of set points at one time, that's where that can come into play. So go over and check out that other video. Right now I'm going to select create report. Once I select that, it's going to give me some options, and these options, we're going to go through these real quick. The report type, this is going to be the first thing that you notice here. And what you can do once you drop this down, if you're wanting like a historic trend report, this is where you will select that from. Once you click into that, it basically gives you the option to print out or to display whether or not you have the present value, like if I wanted just whatever a particular value of something was at that point when this report runs, I can select trend and so on. Once I select trend, and that's what we're going to do for this particular report, I'm going to select a trend. I can go date range, and of course this one is set by default. It is set to yesterday. I can go to today, last 7 days, last week, this week, and so on. I can even set up a custom date range, but for now, for an example, we're just going to select day. I can also select whether I want a PDF or a CSV. That is something that, again, you need to decide depending on how you're going to use your data. Okay? If you're going to use it to where you need to go in and manipulate things or add other reports, I don't really know. There again, that's up to you guys. CSV is a very popular one for us. Now, this box here is the repeat box. Do I want this to repeat each day, each week, once a year, or whatever? I'm going to select, just as an example, I'm going to select weekly. Once I select that, it's going to give me this additional window. And this window here is going to be where I set it up for when I want the report to run. For example, if I wanted this report to run every Monday morning at 7 a.m., I would select Monday. I would then select my time here, just go to 7 a.m., just like that, and I have that set up. And if you need to, you can go back in and you can change this if necessary. And that's a critical thing. You can change when that report runs. You can set it to run however many durations, however many occurrences. Like if I only wanted this to run for the next 3 weeks, that's what I could do here. Since it's running weekly, I can set it up to where it's only going to be like 3 occurrences. And that would run for the next 3 weeks, because once it has expired that, it shuts itself off. I can also go in and set it to where it would end on a particular date by selecting this calendar and so on. If you needed it to go for a certain month or a certain week or just whatever, then you can set that here. It's very flexible as far as what you want it to do. Once you have that done, once you have set all of this up, which again, I'm not going to build this report to run continually, so I'm just going to drop this back to never, just as an example, because I want to run this here in just a moment to show you guys. I can send this to a few different things. I can select download immediately, which that's what we're going to do for this particular report. And it's going to go ahead and run and then spit out the data that you have asked for. Another thing is I can set it up to email people. I can select send to, and then I can enter email addresses right across here. Okay, and you can add up to 10 email addresses as you've seen here. There's a lot that you can do with this. Once, and one thing that you need to remember too, you can also save this as a report template, but we're not going to do that here. But what I could do is I could simply give this some type of a name, just depending on what it is, like if it's hourly meter reading or whatever. That's where I can name this, and it's going to store it for me. And since I am not going to be doing it as far as email or anything, which that is a very useful thing, guys, you can also put it into a particular network location if you're wanting to put it into a file or whatever, just depending on how you have it set up. For me, I'm just going to select download immediately. So that's what we're going to do here, and then I'm going to select create. And what it's going to do is it's going to go out and it's going to run that report, and it's going to pull the trend data, because that's what we selected here for today. That's what it's going to do. And it's going to populate here. So let's go ahead and look at that. You can see here we have got all of our data. It's showing me the graph and so on. All of the data over that time period that I selected and so on. Again, guys, depending on what you're needing within your system, I selected 3 of those meters, and it's what it's displaying. It's giving me the data for those 3 meters. And you can see that this can get rather large just depending on what you're needing to do with that data. But guys, that is just a brief overview of building reports. Let's go ahead and cancel this out for just a second. What it's going to do, your reports, when you do build them and save them, is it's going to get, well, there again, I just show you this while it popped up. Since I have selected to create a report and I'm not changing pages, it's going to give me a warning. I'm about to lose this data or whatever. You want to continue? Yes, I want to continue. This is going to be bringing up some built-in reports that we have directly out of the box with Metasys MUI. For example, I can select report types here. These are base reports that is within Metasys MUI. I can run an offline, an offline report, an operator override report, supervisory override, trouble, out of service, tons of stuff that you can do in here with reports. If I wanted to know if we have devices offline, that's a very useful one there. And I can run an entire site scan, or I can go to specific network devices. That's completely up to you, again, depending on what you're doing within your system. Again, the alarm reporting, that's another popular one, which I've got another video where I actually talk about the alarm dashboard and how you can use that, so go over and check it out as well. You can also click here, and this is going to be where you have built reports. Any of those reports that you have built are going to be saved here. And you can go in and you can modify them. And if there is an issue, just like these here, we had an error on these 2 reports. This is something that if you do get, or if the system notices some type of an error when that report tries to run, for example, if you have a device offline, when a report tries to run, it will give you an error. and it's going to tell you a lot about it. You can disable it, you can delete it, just depending on what you're wanting to do. You can force it to run or just whatever. This little play button is where you would force it to run, and then I can turn these reports on and off just depending on what I need them to do if they're a scheduled report. And it's all right here for you. So this is a very functional, very powerful tool. And it is something that once you start pulling that data out of your system, and if it's something that's very common, if it's a lot of common data sets within your system, this is going to be a big time saver for you because, again, set the report up, let the computer do the work for you instead of you having to go and pull that stuff manually all the time. You know, your boss comes in there and each week he expects a report on something. Set it up within the computer to where, you know, it makes you think that, you know, every day or whenever you get that report that you're doing great, you know, that you're getting those numbers out there to him, when in reality, you know, you're able to get out and spend a little bit less time in front of the computer setting the stuff up. Set it up once, set it up right, let it run, and save yourself a lot of trouble. Let the computer do the work for you. But guys, this is just a quick video on reporting and how it can be used and how you can set things up within your system. And guys, I hope you liked the video. Be sure to like, share the video, subscribe to my channel, leave me a comment down below. Check out all the affiliate links down below. Guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.